new to the channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, I want to say welcome back. Okay. Now, if you have not checked out this week's podcast on archetypes and astrology, you want to go ahead and do so. You can also find the video on YouTube. Okay. You guys know I had surgery last Monday, so I'm still healing. Sounded a little congested. So today's message is not going to be long. All right. So I'm dropping it on Wednesday, Mercury Day, Communication Day. All right. I do need to remind you guys that energy is fluid. So place the energy where it needs to be. Take what you need, leave what you don't, and maybe shelf what you don't understand. All right. The purpose of me doing the 369 reading is because we are now in energy currently where everyone is really responsible for not just the energy that they put out, but also the energy that they pull in. We are electrical magnetic beings, and the 369 is that magnetic code. Okay. So you guys can take your time and go ahead and do the research on the 369 vibration and see how you can apply that to you. But these messages are really geared towards you tapping into your electrical magnetic energy, which is really about law of attraction, pulling things to you and repelling things away from you. Okay. So these are going to be channeled messages. And once again, you want to go ahead and take what you need and leave what you do not. All right. Let me just say this. I'm also starting something new. If you're following me on Instagram, you can see that every week I am going to be picking a theme or a topic that we're going to talk about. And the polls, as well as the astrology and archetypal breakdown, is going to be geared around what we are trying to accomplish. Or I don't want to say trying, what we are going to be accomplishing for the week. All right. With that being said, if you're not a part of the Patreon community, you will not get the extended version of this video. And that is okay because you're going to find there's a lot of information right here for you guys to take into consideration. All right. So just so you guys know, okay, you are not just responsible for the energy that you put out. Like I said, you're also responsible for the energy that you pull in. And everything has an archetype. Everything has a signature. Everything has a vibration in which it moves, it ebbs, and it flows. Okay. Now, we currently have the sun in Taurus. So we know right now the archetype of Taurus is possessions and money. That's what we're going to be focusing on for the season of Taurus. All right. As I and moving throughout this energy, I'm not going to focus on the moon's energy because you guys, this video is pre-recorded. So by the time that you listen to this video, the moon sign will no longer be in the sign that is being recorded in now. Okay. So we're just going to go with the sun sign, which is really what the world sees outwardly. And we're going to take a look at the overall energy on the charts that's repeating. All right. And you know, we've been talking about Pisces and Taurus for a few weeks now, and it's the same. All right. Pisces is supposed to bring in a greater level of understanding, that depth of a spiritual awakening, that area of your dreams, okay? But it's also an area where you can be disillusioned. And Pisces energy also, you have to be careful because you can land into a bit of depression in that energy, okay? Now, Taurus energy is love, it's luxury, it's pleasure. It's also stability. But if you're not careful, it can be greed and stepping over other people, emotions, because your earth energy, and you don't see how that lines up with possessions or stability, okay? With that being said, I want to tell you guys, as we're at the third day in, we're going to talk about the art of letting go in this video, all right? And why it's important. It's important for you to let go of anything that keeps you bound mentally, that keeps you trapped emotionally, and that keeps you slave, or I want to say hostage spiritually, okay? This could be feelings, this could be thoughts, this could be actions, all right? This could even be the way that you view yourself and others, okay? So changing your perception, adjusting your perception as you're moving on this journey is going to be an important part of letting go, all right? And I know for some people, letting go is hard, especially when you feel someone has wronged you, right? But you can't get to your other side carrying heavy baggage that no longer serves you, all right? Because if you do that, what you will find happen is the past stuff still creeps into your now moment and then leaks into your future moments, okay? And you are responsible for your own experiences. So let's dive into the cards, all right? So 3 is going to represent your imagination and your creativity. 6 is going to represent your willpower, as well as your right now energy. 3 is going to also represent your past energy. 9 is going to represent the completion of all of these energies that you've been putting out, all of the vibrations that you've been putting out and pulling in. And 9 is also going to be your future energy. Okay, so let's take a look at your past energy. Your past energy overall is saying understanding. All right, so this is the page of water or the page of cups. So this is saying pay attention to your messages as they're coming in, especially pay attention to how you're feeling emotionally about things. Your feelings are indicators. Your feelings are not supposed to get you stuck. All right, you're supposed to use your feelings, aka your emotions, to give you an indication of where you are in your life at any given moment. So if you need to change or adjust the course of action or course of thinking or course of feeling, you can do so. All right, now not taking things personally as you're moving throughout this energy is also going to be important. Everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own way of looking at things, right? And everyone has their own way of dealing with things or perceiving things. All right, so this is not about changing other people. This is really about bringing forth the change that you need in yourself. All right, so for your past energy, we're talking about understanding this week. All right, remember, we're letting go, bringing in the understanding and maybe the clarity that you needed by changing your perception is going to be important as you're moving throughout this energy. And the page of cups also represents messages coming in. So this could be an email, this could be a text, this could be a letter, this could be a download. Okay, so you want to pay attention to any messages, no matter the form of how they come in this week, because you can find great understanding or great aha moments as you're moving through this past energy this week. All right, now keeping in mind, past energy is also linked to your creativity or your emotion. I'm sorry, your creativity and your imagination. Okay, if you cannot imagine yourself having something, doing something, being something, or seeing or experiencing something, by universal and spiritual law, it is not yours to experience or to have or to interact with. Okay, so you need to know that. In your right now moment, you do have the page of earth, okay, or pentacles, and it's all about adventure. All right, it's all about really taking a look at the things that you've done. You've come so far now, enjoying, right? I want to say, have you gained the have you gained on your investment? Have you gained any rewards in your investment? And if not so, you may need to take an adventure. You also have in your future moment the 5 of Wands. And in the 5 of Wands is saying totality. With this energy and the number 5 represents change. Okay. This energy can also represent conflict, someone that doesn't really want to deal with something. But this conflict can also bring you into a place of resolution. All right, so you do need to be mindful of that. So moving throughout the week today, you have being able to understand not just where you're coming from, but where others is coming from is going to be important. Taking the adventure, taking that risk, stepping out on faith is also going to be important, right? And we're not talking about FAITH type faith. We're talking about FATE. Google it. It's a different type of faith, okay? Surrendering totality and letting go totally of things you have no control of is going to be important for you as you're moving throughout this week. And I know I sound redundant and like I keep repeating the same thing over and over as you go through my videos. But honestly speaking, the only person that can change you is you. Nobody else can. Nobody else in this world can change you. All right, so tapping into how you feel about past things is going to be important. All right, this is actually the number 9 card, so it's bringing things into completion. All right, paying attention to what you feel and allowing your feelings to be indicators as you move throughout the energy this week is going to be important. And as you're paying attention to how you feel about things, right, or your perception of things, you will find that clarity is coming in. That's crown chakra energy also moving in this week. This is a week of healing if you allow it to come in. And healing doesn't necessarily mean that it has to do with something mentally. It could be emotionally, it could be physically, right? And can I tell you a secret? You can also get to a faster physical healing by being still and meditating on that healing that you need from within. All right, so know that you can bring about an even faster healing by sitting and meditating on the healing that's needed, all right, to come in, whether it's a physical healing, whether it's a mental healing or emotional healing that needs to take place. Okay, It's also saying that this might be a good week for you to give rather than to receive, all right, or to give rather than take, right? And this is where the understanding comes in. You need to be mindful of your perception and how things are unfolding. We talk about perception all of the time. With the current energy in the atmosphere right now, especially when it's in conjunction with the Pisces energy, Pisces is in several charts, right? We have Pisces still sitting in Mars. We have Pisces still in Jupiter, and we also have Pisces in Neptune, all right? And then we also know that we had that big conjunction with Neptune and Jupiter, which is bringing in that wonderful expansion for the next 12 years. So the question is, what is going to be expanded in your experience for the next 12 years? What do you really feel? You need to be honest about your feelings at all times, right? Your feelings are the indicator which pulls frequencies to you. All right. So your feeling really is the vibration that pulls things to you. You need to know that. So if you're feeling melancholy or you're feeling like you can't have something, you won't be able to do something, that is going to be the gateway that stops that from coming into your experience, or that brings it into your experience, your feelings. Okay. So, and then another thing, I say all of the time, guys, whoever controls you emotionally controls you. You're their puppeteer. You are their puppet and they are your puppeteer. Okay. As you're moving into your right now experience, which is about the number 6, the power to create or destroy. And we talk about this every week, right? Creation and destruction is needed at times because you cannot always move forward with some things that you've already created because they're no longer working. They're toxic. You've outgrown them, right? So the power to create and destroy is important. What needs to be created and rebuilt in your life, or what needs to be destroyed and let go, right? Seeing the true you as you're moving through your now moment is going to be important in the art of letting go. Letting go is not, it's not about giving someone a pass and someone getting away with something. It's not about that. Letting go is being able to give yourself the space that you need, right? While maybe sharing walls with somebody that no longer fits in the frequency and the vibration that you are. So be mindful of that, okay? Spaces and walls. We talk about that all of the time, all right? As you are seeing the new you this week, divine wisdom, all right? Meaning, don't be emotionally triggered this week. Okay, don't be emotionally triggered this week. You have the wild card showing up here. Okay, and if you look at this dress, this is a red dress, which is all about root chakra energy. That's where family lies. That's where your money lies. This is your fight or flight mode. Okay, so before fighting or flighting, or maybe even looking at something in a negative way this week, right? You want to definitely be mindful about your perception of things, and seeing the real you is going to be important, because then that gives you the divine wisdom to know if maybe you need that adjustment instead of the other person needed that adjustment in their perception, in their conversation, or in their actions. Okay, so being able to grow spiritually is not just about pointing the finger at other people and saying that you're better than them, right? Being able to grow spiritually is also about being able to fall on your swords, aka your words, okay? Things that you put out into the ethers or into the atmosphere that no longer works for you, or maybe that was sent out in fear, anger, disappointment, okay? Being accountable for what you think, for what you feel, and what you say is just as important as being accountable for what you do, okay? You need to know that, right? So confidence is the key to your success. So the question is, seeing the true you, how do you really feel? And your confidence moving into play this week is going to be all about you really looking at yourself, okay? Now, as in the archetype breakdown that we did on Monday, I released that video on Monday. If you have not watched it, go back and replay that, right? This was all about change. This was all about the change that was needed, right? And I can tell you this right now. The one constant thing that's promised to you in this world or in this realm or in this lifetime is change. That is the one constant thing that's promised to you. Change is the one constant that ever flows within this experience. So you should never be afraid of change, okay? And confidence is going to be the key to your success in anything. So if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't think you can do something, have something, if you don't have the confidence that's needed, you need to sit back and you need to do the work to get so, okay? Get right with yourself is what you need to do. If you're not working within the realm of your own confidence. And I can tell you guys that, because self-worth is one of the things that I've had to work on over the years. And we've talked about it that in details in a lot of my videos, right? That self-worth thing. So if you don't feel like you're worthy, how can you really expect anyone else to deem you worthy if you yourself don't even think that you're worthy? Okay? So think about that. As you're ending the week, right? In your future moment, you do have relax the whole of the darkness and be the cause. And I really feel like this is all about your perception. Okay. People are always going to have an opinion. People are always going to say negative things. People are always going to have something to do. People are always going to have something to say about what you do. Okay. The problem is when we allow other people's opinions, other people's feelings, and other people's projections to become more important than our own. Okay. So as you're moving throughout this week and you are tapping into how you feel and you're seeing the true you and you're working on your confidence in whatever area that may be. Okay. Whatever area that may be, you want to be mindful not to allow yourself to shift the blame or point the fingers at anyone. Okay. You want to really own your shit this week. Okay. This is about change. Now, the one constant thing again is change. This is about change this week. We're changing. And as we're moving throughout this energy today, you're learning how to let go. And letting go for some people can be difficult because you think somebody's getting away with something. And that is not true. The universe does not do blind justice. No one gets away with anything. There's checks and balance to everything. No one gets away with anything. So you need to be mindful of that, all right? Okay. We also have here showing up determination. And with this determination, we're talking about that solar plexus energy, which once again goes back to that confidence that we talked about, okay? Work on you. Work on you. When you work on you, everything else around you falls into place. Don't point the finger this week. Allow people the space to do, to be, to have. Okay. And they also want you to know with this message, patience. You want to be patient, not just with other people, but with yourself. Give yourself the patience that's required to move through the energy this week. Okay. And as you do that, and you're moving throughout the energy, it has here, nothing will come of this situation because you're in a void course. And really what that means is until you give anything energy through a feeling or a thought, right? Nothing happens. You have to fuel that thought with an emotion. And then that emotion is then going to lead to an action. And then action is then going to lead to manifestation. Okay? So please understand, you have more power than you think in your life. Okay? You have the power to think differently. You have the power to feel differently. You have the power to do differently. And you have the power to manifest differently. The question is, what are you doing with your power? Right? You cannot hold on to old, dense, toxic energy and experience new and beautiful things. That's not how it works. Okay? That is not how it works. All right? So this is your channel message for your 369. The art of letting go. It's time for us to let go. All right. Do the playback in the archetypes and astrology because I talk a little bit about the change and I talk a little bit about where you are now and what do you want now and, what's important to you now as we're moving throughout this energy. This is not the time to be stagnant. All right. So if you are not part of the Patreon community, I will see you guys on next week's video. But if you are part of the Patreon community, just hold tight. We are going to go ahead and get some messages from the ancestors to wrap up this message. All right, my loves, I will see you guys in next week's reading. All right, Patreon family. We got that done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull some ancestor cards to see exactly, and Zodiac cards to see exactly how you need to be moving in this energy, okay? So we're going to start off with the Zodiac cards because we do want to know exactly where we are astrologically. All right, so let's get the Zodiac cards here. So the message is letting go and looking at things differently. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, so you have the ascendant energy here, okay? And the ascendant energy is about an entrance or a gateway to ascend or move past something of the old, okay? It's a new way that you can step out and experience something new. It gives you an opportunity to grow past, okay, what you may have perceived the world to be. So the question is, how do you see the world now? You want to take a look at maybe your assumptions, your presumptions, and you really want to reevaluate all of those things through your filter system, okay? You want to use a filter system, and I'm not talking about a filter system that's full of fear. I'm talking about a filter system that's full of truth, being honest with yourself, okay? This energy allows you to pull in everything from every aspect and look at it from a different perspective by maybe your preconceived notions about a thing or a person, you know, or a situation, right? Look at maybe how you may have been a little bit on guard and not too vulnerable to open yourself up to receive whatever the message was, whatever the gift was, whatever the constructive criticism was, okay? Using your awareness of how you see the world and tapping into the message of letting go, seeing yourself, tapping into how you feel is going to be important as we're transitioning throughout this year. This year is the year of a 6. We're talking about the power to create or destroy. Not only that, we're talking about triple twos. And you guys know triple twos is sensitive energy. That's hypersensitive energy. So you need to be mindful of that, right? Now, as you're reviewing the world, you do have retrograde energy, which means review your assumptions, your vulnerability, your actions. Retrograde energy is about slowing down and taking the time to go back and review. Go back and maybe see where something may have been said that you didn't grab. Something may have been done that you just kind of let go by, right? Believe in something about yourself that you told yourself. Maybe when that particular relationship or situation happened, that's no longer true. That is no longer true, right? So retrograde is about reviewing and then recorrecting if necessary, right? And the way that you're going to be reviewing and recorrecting, right, in your 9th placement, you do have the trine and the sextile, symbiosis. A symbiosis relationship is a give and take relationship. So we're also in an area now where you should be in relationships or approaching situations from the aspect of it being a balanced give and take relationship, a balance and an even exchange. We are no longer in energy where you as an empath or you as a giver by nature can be stuck in a situation with someone that's constantly taken. You do not want to be in a position with someone that's constantly taken. That is not what you want to do, okay? So, with that being said, you have your placement astrologically. You need to review everything. Review your preconceived notions. Review the things that you may have overlooked, right? Review maybe that thing that you may have taken personally that really should not have been taken personally. You want to do all of that. There's an entrance for you to see the world differently, to see things differently, okay? And then the key here is the symbiosis interaction where it's a give and take. It's an even exchange. It's a back and forth. We both get and receive from each other. You're not just here draining my energy, you know, because I'm the positive one. You're not just here draining my money because I'm the one that makes all the money, you know. You're actually here because it's a give and take, a back and forth relationship, okay? So that's where the zodiacs are saying. So let's take a look and see what else the zodiacs got going on, and then we're going to get into the ancestors, okay? So you have an opportunity to learn and to grow past whatever this is. You got Aries energy. Aries energy is going to require action, but this can also be energy of conflict, great passion, spiritual warfare, maybe even physical warfare, all right? And that's showing up with the ascendant energy, which is really talking about that preconceived notion of maybe the way that you view the world, okay? Vulnerability is necessary, right? If you are seeking love, if you're seeking acceptance. And I'm not talking about vulnerability outside with anyone else. I'm talking about being able to be vulnerable and honest with yourself first, okay? You also have Libra, which is saying balance, okay? Libra's energy is all about balance. But the thing about Libra's energy is it can sometimes tend to lie if it does not want to deal and face things, right? So you're going to have to watch the triggers this week, right? You're going to have to watch the lies that you tell to yourself this week, because we're doing retrograde energy reviewing so we can recorrect, okay? Don't lie to yourself this week. Remember, this week they asked you, what do you really feel? And do you see yourself? Do you see your true self? Okay, so you want to be mindful of that. Aries calls action, but it can also cause explosive arguments, and Libra can just tend to stick their head in their sand, but Libra can also bring in that great balance that's needed. Okay, so be mindful of that. And then you have air energy, so all of this could be playing out in your thoughts, so you want to watch your thinking this week. All right, so the goal this week is pay attention to your thoughts. That's where the battle is going to be fought. Okay, it's in your thinking, in your mind this week. All right, so you want to be mindful of that, because if you are not, that can trigger the Aries energy that can be explosive, or the Libra energy that don't want to deal with shit, right? And that is not the week that we're in. The week that we're in is being able to deal with the things that are in front of us. Okay, so let's hear what the ancestors have to say. Let's see what the ancestors have to say. Yeah. Medicine guardian is saying be open to that healing information that's coming in, and that's kind of what I feel like, being able to see the new you, especially as we're in Taurus season, where you're reevaluating what brings stability in your life, or who is that unstable energy in your life, or that stable energy in your life. Okay, you do have the protection guardian popping up saying to drop your shields. We just talked about vulnerability. All right. And both of these remind me of like heart chakra energy. Okay. We got a heart chakra energy on the board. Okay. That's forgiveness, unforgiveness. That's that letting go energy, right? Being able to let go. And as you find yourself in a place where you're really being open about how you feel, and maybe, having a different and a new perception, you have the stag. Trust and thrive. Okay. Trust yourself this week and you will thrive. All right. That is important as we're moving throughout this energy. Let me just pull our, we do want to pull our card of the week. Last week we had despondence, and I can't remember the other card from last week. But I know last week one of the cards that we had was despondence, and destiny, I think it was. Okay. This week, let's see what our messages is. Okay. This is all about you, healing you. People are always going to have something to say, y'all. People are always going to have something to say. Complacency. Who or what has you complacent in your life? Complacency is our magic word this week. This is our word this week. Who or what has you in complacency, or has you complacent in your life? You need to think about that. This is root chakra energy. This is your foundational energy, right? So we're talking about a root chakra energy is family, trust, money, your fight or flight mode. That can also be that fuck fight energy. Okay, so you do need to be mindful of that. You may be challenged this week to deal with some things in your life that have you feeling complacent and stuck. Okay, and as the pull is saying, be open to the healing information as it's coming in. All right, drop your shields. Trust so you can thrive. Okay, I feel a little congested, y'all. My nose feels clogged, right? Okay, so this is the deal. If you have not taken a look at the archetypes and astrology video for the week, you want to go ahead and you want to do so, or you can tune in via my podcast. That's also your option. Okay, I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all know the deal. You want to do something kind for yourself. You want to be kind to yourself. Okay, and you also want to make sure that you give yourself the space that's needed in this process to be truthful, so you can heal and get to the other side. Okay, I love you guys much, and I will see you guys in your next video. Bye, my loves.